What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV, y'all. Max B was a star. Max B, Boss Don Biggavelle, he was an absolute star. Like, I'm sitting up here and I'm listening to the Lord trying to tell me something, and I'm listening to and I want you, I gotta have you. I'm like, man, Max, he was on a different wavelength at that time, man. Like, nobody was really making, like, he was making melodies. He was writing hooks. He had the flow. He had the charisma. He had the persona. Like, I'm like, no lie, he was packaged as a star. Like, he was a street version. I mean, him and Drake not the same in their demeanor or their lifestyle, but he was the street version of Drake. Like, he was singing ghetto stories, hood tales, and he was like, he was making melodies out of hood tales. He was rapping, but he was making melodies. He was singing. His aura was something different. It was something different. The confidence that he had, the swagger that he had, the stuff that he would say, the phrases he would come up with. I don't know, man. Max's presence on a song, you could feel it. You could feel it. I remember I was listening to what's that song with that album Jim Jones had where We Fly High on there. That was Hustler's Poem. I think it was Hustler's Poem album. And they had a song like, Can I Go? Baby, can I go with you? I love my bitches, I gotta have them. That song. Like Max wrote that hook to perfection. Baby, can I go with you? Like, I don't know, man. Max pen game was dope. And like the way he would perform and how he would sound so smooth over these tracks, like it was something different. He always brought a different type of flavor to a track. Like, no lie, I could tell when Max had an input on a hook or on a song. No lie, that song Bird Gang Money, the one that Jim Jones had, what do you say? Clean my fancy car, picked up my fancy clothes, and we only in a hot spot. No, we got the bomb. We got the bomb. That this is Bird Gang Money, and he had NOE singing that. I don't care what nobody say. Max B had to write that hook. Max had to write that hook. It sounds just like Max. The cadence, the flow, the way his melodies were sounding, like, oh, that was Max through and through. And Max gave Bird Gang that flavor that they needed. No lie. That can I go? Jimmy, can I go with you? I love my bitches, I need them, I gotta have them. After I hit them, they always saying, baby, can I go with you? Like, Max was different. Then when Max got on, because this is one of my favorite diss tracks of all time, and I feel like this is always underrated, it's never talked about. When not Jim Jones, when Cameron was going at Jay-Z head with that You Gotta Love It, and I heard Max on the hook. Max made that hook a ghetto gospel. You gotta hate is the way we getting this paper. All my niggas are coming, spray for minimum wages. Niggas dip riding the dip steady, trying to play us. They trying to like, come on, man. Max brought pain and grit to a track and made it come alive. Like, that diss track came alive from BIGGAVELI on that hook, man. Like, I don't know, man. His whole aura was on a whole nother level, man. Like, even from listening to him talk, when he was pissed at Jim Jones and them on a come up DVD. And my man up in there talking about she touched it in Miami. He there, like, and I don't vibe with nobody disrespecting somebody lady, man. But Max was just a character, man. When he talking about just see how it sound, man. Max Biggavelle, Jim Jones. It don't even sound the same. What he said, look at Fabio, baby, flipping his head back. You see Fabio, baby. And I'm looking like, this dude is a character, man. But I mean, he was legit the street version of Drake at that time. And French Montana owes a lot to Max, and I think he knows that. Max brought him into the fold. He brought him into Max was French was the guy behind the camera doing the DVDs and all that type of stuff. And hosting the DVDs and everything like that. When he got with Max, people started to respect French as an artist. And when Max went away is when French blew up and French gained national notoriety. Although I never felt like French was ever on Max level. I never found French interesting on a track like that. No lie. Like, there's only a few tracks, but most of the time he always needed a hook from somebody else, or he always needed features from somebody else to make his songs pop. BIGGAVELI ain't have to do that. BIGGAVELI could get on there by himself and make a track sound like immaculate. He always had that ability to ride a beat, to make it sound smooth, to make it flow. And it just sounded good and crisp. And I'm like, man, his voice, man, that struggle, that pain in his voice. But he's just singing like I promise y'all, man, that was gangsta gospel or something. I don't know, man. It sounded smooth. He was talking on some fly stuff, some fly player stuff, some smooth player stuff, but also had the street element to it. So people just was able to gravitate to it in the streets. And I wasn't a street dude, but I just felt I just felt where he was coming from and felt what he was saying. And I'm always disappointed that the world didn't get a chance to hear Max B, didn't get a chance to give him his roses at the time, because he was bubbling and he was cooking, but he couldn't stay out of trouble with the law, and he ended up going away. My man's, man, I'm thinking about it. Look at Fabio, baby. Look at Fabio, baby. My man's was in there, man. I'm getting 10,000. What? He was in there going in, man. I was just like, this dude, Max, is something else, man. He was just unique. And seriously, the time when Jim Jones had Max B and Stack Bundles around him was when Jones' star started to shine bright. I'm never going to take away from the fact that Jones could rap. Like, no lie, I didn't think Jones was no rapper. I used to didn't think Jones could rap, but I feel like the Diary of a Summer album was dope. And that song, I always love that song with him and Trey Songz. That's a summer with Miami. I thought that was dope. Spending my summers with the top drop low. Like, I feel like Jones even got bit. My fault. I feel like Jones even got busy on that joint, man. But Jones started to shine bright when he had Stack and Max around him, and I think that came from Max lending him hooks and Max giving him an ear for certain beats, giving him certain melodies to ride off of. I feel like Jones wrote all his verses, but I feel like Max wrote them hooks and gave him the melodies to be able to ride on the beat. And truth be told, I feel like he got his whole image during that time period from Stack Bundles. Stack was the one dressing like a rock star with the shades and the cornrows and the rock star V-neck type cut shirts and all of that. Like, Stack was dressing like that with the belt buckles and everything like that. He was the one that was like, the Stack Bundles was a star, had all the flavor like that, the sauce like that. And Jones took that and you know, put that, package that with him to make, when he was making We Fly, No Lie, that sounds just like Max. When I'm hearing all of that, I'm knowing Max, we fly, no lie, and you know it, bowling. That sounds just like Max all the way. And I hope Max, you know, I think Max comes home in a couple of years. He's been going away for a while, but I have a deep appreciation for Max, listening to them Public Domain tapes, listening at what up one moment, damn you. Pull up a fifth of damn. What do you say? Pull up a fifth of Grand Crew or something like that. My man was on. Max had some joints, man. Max had some joints. What's that? Why you do that? I say I'm sorry, baby. That was BIGGAVELI, not Charlie, baby. Why you do that? I was listening to them Public Domain tapes, the Wavy Crockett joints, the Gang Green tapes. What he had $1 Million Baby joints, man. Like, I don't know. Max was just entertaining. He was an entertainer in full. Dude was just charismatic. Even in interviews, man. I remember the interview he did with Angela Yee and them. Like, people gravitated to his personality. And he was a popular dude, man. The Silver Surfer himself, man. Like, real talk. When I was calling myself Machiavelli, when I say Machiavelli, you know, my name Malcolm. This channel is Machiavelli Mills. People were like, you think about Pac. Like, I'm a big fan of Pac. But no lie, when I was thinking about, because I was calling myself Machiavelli. Like, Max B was Biggavel. And I was like, Machiavelli, I did it like that. But I was really thinking of Max, because I was listening to a lot of Max at the time when I was like, you know, calling myself Machiavelli and everything. But Max is coming home soon. But I just like, these interviews that he did was just legendary, man. Just the waviest dude alive. And I just wish that people would, I wish the world would have got on to him, man. And I think he lives vicariously through a lot of other artists, French Montana. And I remember even, not Cameron, what's my boy name? Wiz Khalifa, even acknowledging like that Max B was just was an inspiration for him. And he was an inspiration for a lot of people, man. A lot of people in Bird Gang. When they had NOE singing that, just clean my fancy car, Picked up my fancy clothes. He sounded, and NOE always sounded like Jay. Like he sounded like a knockoff Jay-Z. Dude from Baltimore, because NOE was from Baltimore, I believe. But yeah though, like when I heard that Bird Gang Money hook, I'm like, that is Max all the way through and through. Like, no lie, that's him all the way through and through, man. But yeah, man, when Max put French in the limelight to be taken serious. When he went away, I think French signed a deal with Convict Music. Then he went with Diddy now, and he dating Kardashians and everything, staying relevant as best way possible. But French ain't never did it like Max. I don't care nobody. French ain't never been that flavorful like Max. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. I don't care. You can point to the mac and cheese mixtapes. I ain't never felt French music the way I felt Max joints, man. Max, I promise y'all, Max had people connecting to his music. And I even heard in New York City, I ain't from New York. I ain't never even been to New York. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, South Side to be specific. But I heard Max had people in New York City like dressing like him, acting like him, picking up his persona and everything. Like it was embedded in New York culture at one point, man. But a lot of dudes, for real, are influenced. I feel like they kind of like seeds of Max B in some type of way. Drake sings, he don't sing about street stuff, but the singing and rapping and type of harmonies and melodies and stuff like that, I'm like, BIGGAVELI used to do that. BIGGAVELI used to do that, man. Like BIGGAVELI ain't doing no auto-tune, but he used to be like, he would flow over these beats and make all these different songs and hooks, and his hooks was always dope, and him remixing songs and all that type of stuff. I'm like, man, Max was just a different breed, man. For real. And Wiz would even do these things, like make little melodies and sing little stuff. But you know it's the planes. Like I was listening to the How Fly mixtape with Wiz and Currency. What do you say? They can't help it to come on in, but you know it's the planes. And then my man's Currency coming, you put your key, I put my key in. We can, like all of that, like all them hooks, like the checkpoint and all that type of stuff. All of that sounds like Wiz doing all that. Smoking, drinking, don't know why I'm leaving. All of that. That is Max B to perfection. I'm like, that is all that is they like offsprings of Max B. Like Max was great and I don't know, man. You just had to been there during that time period. You had to really been listening to all these. I was a hip hop nerd. I still am. I was always searching for new stuff, new sounds, new artists to listen to. So when I caught a hold of Max, I'm like, damn, man, this dude, I don't know, something about him. Interviews, personality, charisma, all of that. I'm like, man, dude was just special. He was a special dude, man. And he had the the singing with the raspy voice type of stuff. That was just different, man, for real. Like I hope somebody do 2K soundtrack in the future and put a Max B song or something on there so people can just get on the Max in some way possible, man. But I really appreciated Max as an artist, no lie. Like he was different. I'm saying it like he's gone. He coming home in a couple of years. I'm saying it like he's gone and passed away or something, but he'll be home in a couple of years. But I'm just saying he influenced a lot of people, man. A lot of different people. Like I always found myself coming back to his music, songs he was involved in, songs I know he wrote the hooks on. And I always found myself always entertained and pulled back in. It's no lies. It was never a dull moment with Max B at all. At all. And I always come back to the Come Up DVD interview, man. When that man was almost, he was going in, man. He was going in. I ain't making songs for another dude so he can look hot. What he say, man? The things have changed since the last time we talked, man. I'm not no little dude no more, man. The streets is, he said, I run an organization now. The streets is mine. I say, yeah, Max. Talk that talk, man. It was sounding like butter, man. I'm like, talk that talk, Max, man. He was just in a different element. And I just appreciate all the music I heard from the Silver Surfer, Max B, BIGGAVELI himself. So if y'all ain't never heard of Max B and you into hip hop, hardcore street hip hop and all of that and stuff with melodies, check out Max B. Machiavelli Mills TV. Peace.